If you do.
Right, you just started.
Do we have any public comments? Bud, do you have anything to say?
No, I just make sure you get the warning,
That's on the list today. Yep. It was remembered about last Thursday. That's part of why this packet's so late come now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I got. Yeah.
There was a public comment. I'll wait until you're done.
That's all right.
There was a public comment by Greg. Greg intended to be here today, but he was busy and wasn't able to come. He wanted to express, I guess, disappointment about the Hometown Heroes and us just not being involved in the Hometown Hero banners more than we were. So any more than that, I'll let him speak on it, but I figured I'd relay that to you.
I think my only reluctance was it going to cost us money?
Right. Right.
I'm all for doing it, but
Right. Yeah.
We're not in a position to be giving out charity.
I see that they extended the deadline.
They didn't extend it. There were two deadlines that were going to be used from the beginning. The first was if you wanted to be in for Memorial Day,
Oh,
was
okay.
the first round, and then
Okay.
if you want to be in for Old Home Week
Yeah.
was the second.
All
round.
right.
Yeah. So there'll be
I got
another
a picture of my father to do that because he was in Korea and World War II
Yeah,
to do that.
That'd be
So I don't know. I see that most of those pictures are from like here up.
There are some that weren't,
Okay.
and they can do modifications too.
Okay.
Like if you have it zoomed out and you need it zoomed in, they'll do that work too.
All right. Well, I went to go to gig today to get the
Yeah, she's not
application.
there
She
for-
went.
she's in
So-
Germany.
Holy
I
schmoly.
don't know for how long. Germany. She said 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and she'll be back.
Okay. I'm glad to know that because I would be like, what the hell?
Yeah. Anyway.
Or tomorrow. Yes. So I'll wait. She's the only one that would have the applications.
No, we have them here. Remind me, I can give you one at the end of the
Okay.
day.
Thank you.
This is an application. This is nothing to do with.
Yeah, it's not yet.
But
Oh,
it's
sorry.
the applications for the owners,
Hometowns, yeah.
Hometown Heroes.
Yeah.
The other thing is, James, I think it sends a message. If we are a little tight with our dollars, that we need to be tight with our dollars, and maybe our customers would know that, that we're not going to spend any of your money.
Right.
So I think the messaging goes both ways,
Right.
fully in support of the project. You want a donation, I'll give you a donation.
Well, it was also taken out of our hands in a way because it was offered up.
To regs.
They offered to do it
Right.
for free. So, right?
Yeah, so
So it was kind of like a,
and then it became complicated because they didn't have a truck when
Then they wanted to use our truck.
then they have to use our truck. So that's why that whole thing.
oh, so there's more to the story than we know.
Yes. I have it in a follow-up later. You can see it on the meeting.
All right, so do we have any changes to the agenda?
So there's a few ads that are noted on the agenda under new business. And I do apologize. I was just trying to get the packet out as fast as possible
Typing fast.
and typing fast. I was here on Sunday getting everything ready. Been a couple weeks.
So we can review and approve March 10 and March 12. And I was gonna do April 14 today. I know I'm not supposed to be so tardy on these, but I left my notes at work and I worked from home today. So that was really awesome. Sorry about that, everybody.
And I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to review these yet, so
I
printed them.
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 10th.
We have a second?
really unchanged from the other packet probably here.
Correct, yeah, not the minutes haven't
Yeah,
changed.
it's like-
I'm sorry. I'll note what's changed.
Okay.
You. 12.
On March 12th, there were some spelling errors on the names. James Weber only has one B in his name. And it appears at the top. And it also appears in the executive session paragraph.
I looked it up, but I must have looked it up at where it was spelled wrong.
Sorry, it happens to me all
Somewhere.
the time.
Up above in the present, Richard Teft has two Fs
Okay,
on his.
2 apps. Um, guess I didn't ask for everybody's approval
On what?
on March 10th.
Wow.
I seconded it.
Yeah. Do I have a motion for March 12th as amended? I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now I'm gonna move on to,
So
we have to, so,
not available yet.
yeah, we, do we have to make a motion to,
Yeah, I would just make a motion to table that.
okay. I'll make a motion to the table April 14th minutes for the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You want to review the financial report?
So for any financial reports, this one is changed, but the normal changes, just the updates of how much is currently in. So as of May 1st, 2026, we had $59,243.48 in our checking account. We received $151,430.26 in revenue and $67.34 in interest, while paying out $134,352.35 in checks and ACH payments. Our money market account has a balance of $57,013.24. $1,000 was transferred in for tree trimming on April 30th. And $2,500 was transferred in for property taxes on April 8th. We received $84.96 in interest. Our current operating checking account is $44,707.21 with $80 in outstanding checks. Is that a question?
Yeah, so it says we received 84.96 in interest, and I'm assuming that's bank interest and not interest from
That's on the money market.
money
Well,
market.
we get it in both accounts. We get interest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bank
the
interest.
84.96.
Yeah,
The money
that's the
market.
money
Because we
market
don't
interest.
call fees interest,
Right.
right, okay,
Fee, you're saying fees
from
for,
customers that don't, that,
oh, that kind of
That-
interest.
yeah.
Yeah. We call that, I think it's called a late charge. I
okay.
think is actually how it's officially called. But yeah,
But this is
I don't
all-
separate
This
that
is
out.
all our,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. I thought so.
We have $80 in outstanding checks, and our money market balance is $57,013.24 with $38,013.24 unallocated.
Unallocated, I forget.
Yep. So we have we put some money in for tree trimming and for taxes every month.
Yeah,
And this everything else is what we call unallocated. Essentially, it's not spoken for money. So we have what almost $20,000 in there for that's dedicated for our purpose.
okay,
So that's 2 more months worth.
2 more months worth. What do you mean?
Well, 9,000, 9,000, 1,000, 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So May and June.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Statement of debt, we currently have a loan balance of $57,042.55 on our truck loan and $607,093 on our VEPSA loan. The VEPSA loan is an interest only deferment until July 1st, 2026. In March, we received $12,786.79 more than what we billed out. That was just a timing thing. It's not a huge surprise. It's not don't get hung up on that number. That's just the timing. On April 16th, we billed $116,550.47 in electric bills. This is $21,673.89 less than we budgeted. Honestly, between the bakery and the general store being closed, we were losing quite a bit of money, about $10,000 to $15,000 a month.
Yeah.
Worth of income. So it's a big number. So that's just something to keep in mind until that revenue is made up somewhere. We will probably see us billing less than what we budgeted for. So far this month, we have collected $79,977.38 with bills due on May 15th. Currently have $13,403.16 in 30-day plus receivables.
Nice to see that going down.
It's even going down even more. And then the next several pages are the actual financial reports, obviously.
What I noticed, Jim, is that the ending balance has taken a $23,000 jump.
Where am I looking? That?
Well, if you look at March 26th, the account total, and then that April 26th.
Oh, yeah. In the cash accounts.
Yeah. Cash
Yes.
accounts.
That was a timing. We were holding a VEPSA payment
Okay.
that got paid on the 3rd, I think it was, which was nice because we got the interest from the having it in our account. But it was just, I think it was paid on the 3rd or 4th. It was just a little late on the payment. So that's why we had so much in there.
Okay.
I know. I noticed it too when I was looking at the interest numbers.
Yeah. And on the debt accounts, just like to draw everyone's attention to the fact that we're dropping down
Slowly but surely.
every month. Now, Jim, I had a question on the debt accounts.
Sure.
In the far left-hand column,
Yes.
you have 3 notes.
Oh,
for
February. Yeah. That's an
So
error.
should that be February? or
It should be
April?
March, April. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, but
So,
it's nice to see the number
Hmm.
decreasing, and that's really by the amount of
The truck loan.
our truck loan. Yeah.
What is the number interest here? That's,
So the 407
yeah.
is the interest on the truck loan.
That's
So every month we have obviously interest. And then VEPSA, we're in interest only deferment. So essentially we paid VEPSA that amount of money. They sent us a bill for that amount for interest and then we paid it. So that's why you see this number matches that number. So essentially our credit matches, that offsets the interest. And that's why our balance is zero, or is 37 per month.
And the interest on the truck loan varies because of the number of days in the month.
Does that make sense, Sean?
Yeah. Is it possible to see who's holding that up at some point?
Can you just remind me at the end
Yeah.
of the meeting?
I'll probably forget. Oh, I know what, okay, so.
You won't be surprised by the answers, no one.
Okay. So we need to review so you're gonna review the payable.
Do we need a vote on financial report? I don't remember. Do we do that or not? I don't think we.
Sometimes we do,
No,
sometimes we don't. I don't
we
think
don't
we
have
need
to. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a report, you're reporting on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
Yeah.
don't think we-
We're good with.
All right. Payables, everybody ready for that?
Yep.
So for the payables, just, total warrant is $117,530. We've already paid $4,757.11 of that through ACH payments as the payment due was on there, but they're still on this warrant. With an outstanding of $112,743.19. That's that I give you every month. Just to go through here, code 3 products is our fire extinguisher annual inspection. So that's once a year. We pay that $53. Green Mountain Power Corp. I'll just kind of call out the bottom line. The bottom one is $4,728.90. That's for the new control panel for the regulator that we agreed to. Just one of them. So that bill has come in. Haverluck, normal tree trimming, but then we also had him do some danger trees on Bernard Road while he was cutting. We had him do some extra danger trees. So that's $3,500. That'll come out. As I said, we pay every month we pay Haverluck $9,000 as part of our contract, and then the extra $1,000 we put in our money market. So we have $4,000, soon to be $5,000 in our money market that will transfer out to pay that amount. And then when we had our Aclara in for the for commissioning our smart meter DCUs. There was one on Burrington Hill that they were very concerned about the trees and how close they were. So we actually had Trevor go up there. That's the $900.
How about the tree up on Holbrook Road? You took a tree down, it's
Yeah.
still there. They
Is it
need to
still
be picked up.
It's the Upper Holbrook, right?
Hmm.
Yep, that's the homeowner asked for the wood.
What's that?
The homeowner had asked for the wood there. So we took the tree down and the homeowner is supposed to clean it up themselves. That's what I was told.
Okay,
They worked with Trevor on it.
okay.
So is it the branch is still there and everything? Did he chip it? I haven't been up there
I
since
have not seen it, but Marcia Bruno
okay.
mentioned it.
I'll go take a look at it tomorrow. I haven't seen it since it's down. But yeah, that's another one that'll be on the invoices for next month. Yeah. T&M Aerial, what they do is they do our annual truck inspection for dielectric testing. Test went flying colors, so we're good. We don't have to buy a new bucket truck. Yay. No, he said it's actually a great truck. He said it's performed really well.
We pay them 4 years in advance.
I know, right?
The next 4 stickers.
Town of Whitingham sewer charge. Everybody's complaining about it. Property casualty insurance, quarterly payment, electric bill, W&W. We'll talk more about this. We had some locating that we had to do for dig safe. We had to buy some paint for that. So you can see that's the $38 paint and some sealant that we had to get. Batteries. One of the other regulator panels is in alert mode, and we're wondering if it's because there's a little watch battery. We can actually see them right there. And so we're going to try to change out that battery and see if the alert goes away. If it does, that means that potentially that might have been the only issue we had with our other recloser. Regulator, not recloser. But we're going to try it for this one and see what happens. I'm not optimistic that that's what it is. I figured it's worth a shot for $4.
$4.65.
CED is just getting line stuff. FMBO. So we got the new regulator, and they don't send a user manual with it. So they have a digital copy of a user manual that we had to have printed. So we paid for that to be printed. That's in the FMBO. Hamshaw Lumber was the DCU make ready work. This is not on there. This is me just telling you what
Yeah.
FMBO is including. Home Depot we had a credit back from Home Depot for DCU stuff as well. Reception 24/7, UMA, and then our regular Adobe is on there. Oh, many other changes. Deerfield Valley Communications. You can see we have 2 on there for DCUs now. The first is a partial month, $191.97 was a partial month, $40 per DCU. And then the second one is $675, which is more than it's supposed to be. They charge us $75 per DCU. That's for this month, the month of May. And that should have been, I think, 360. It's 90 CUs times 40. So yeah, $360 is what it should have been. They're giving us a credit for next month on that, but it'll be $360 going forward for our DCUs.
Going back.
Yeah.
It says Delta Dental Vision Insurance.
Correct. We have our vision through Delta Dental.
Okay.
They call it Delta Vision. Delta, I think it's Delta Vision, but you send a check to Delta Dental stuff. It's confusing.
It should be Delta Face. Instead of
Delta
Delta
Yeah.
Vet.
So then we have our office internet with Deerfield Valley. So you see all 3 of those in there. Creative Technologies, we had to do a mailing on smart meters. That was the $136 for that extra. That it was the same mailing, it was just including it in bills. Then our regular $699 with them. I believe everything else is normal. You can see our CDA last month was last month we looked at our payables. Our CDA was 98,000. This month it's 67,000. So, and it's just going to keep going down. Just the time of year, we're using less power right now.
And because more of it's hydro at this point? Is it the mix that?
Not really. It's mostly just the demand right now. I mean, it's cheaper. Solar's out, so solar is cheaper right now than natural gas, really, to be honest with you. It's just it's to some degree it's the mix, but it's a lot of just the time of year.
Since we were asking about tree trimming
Yeah.
issues, is Trevor gonna come up when he's done along Route 100 and ship all that, or is it just laying?
Yeah, I get actually this question every day.
Every day.
Yeah. So what he does, he kind of sends his guys that aren't paid as much to go and just do kind of ground clearing. Then he comes back through and he's going to do the upper with his bucket, and then he's going to chip everything all at once.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. But it is everybody's asking like, why are you just leaving it there? But yeah, it will be done.
So it's a wildlife file.
Yeah. That's the problem is wildlife will probably make a home in there and then we're going to chip it all.
And I'm sure you've heard this too, that we can now see the welcome sign because I have
It looks
wanted
really
to go in
nice.
there with my clippers or my weed whacker so many times. And
He's doing a great job. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
this past month has been amazing. And honestly, the danger trees, he's charging us less than $1,000 per danger tree. He had one that we had right on Gates Pond, one of the big old maples by Ken Butler's old house, that we had to take down, and that was $1,500. But he's been really reasonable and great to work with so far. So now that we're in the swing of things, I think it's been good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the payables.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You don't need this anymore, right? Or do you want to do this?
Aye.
It's fine.
Do you need it?
Nope.
Okay.
It's all yours. Now that I said my piece.
Okay.
Kenny, you want to start signing that? Second page, the signing.
Now your payroll. Right.
You and Tyler, I don't have your W2 back. that, or the
Oh,
form.
that thing that was in
I can
there.
print another one if you
Yeah,
want it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
just-
No.
This Brad wrote too.
Just I'm the only reason I'm remembering is because I still need to pay you for it, and I got to remember that I have to pay you. So payroll for this month was $17,228.28. The linemen are starting to work again, so that's not super surprising that that's going up. We got hit last week really hard with payroll. Essentially everybody but Rod had a payroll come in last week, and so I'm kind of asking the linemen if we can offset, so somebody turns in on the 15th and some people turn in on the 1st to try to balance that
Yeah.
cash flow a little bit. And they seem receptive to doing that. So just as a heads up that it was a big payroll last week, but I don't think
But
it'll
it's been
be
a while since we had any.
exactly. Yeah. And that's a lot of them are going every 2 months, and then you have the double month off one.
Yeah.
So no major call outs on payroll. It's about where it should be for what it is. So, guys have been doing a great job with kind of tearing out some of the stuff in Whitingham that is in that cross country. If you go out that way, you see at the end of Brook Street, there used to be a cross country stretch that has been taken out now. That's all kind of the work from last year. We're just cleaning it up. Replaced a 50-foot pole over in Whitingham as well, across from the schoolhouse apartments. That was rotted out. And then I believe the last of the glass cutouts have been replaced as of today. So that's a huge, that'd be really great because those are pole fire risks as well.
I'll make a motion that we approve the payroll warrant, but it's already been signed by 2 people.
Sorry, I forgot about that. I know, I hand you.
Somebody could at least second it before I sign
Second,
All
So
in
you have to
favor?
vote for it.
it.
Right?
Aye. Okay, so now we have a manager's report.
So the 2025 rate case update, we're waiting on the Public Utility Commission to approve our rate case from 2025. I have contacted the clerk directly to ask for the timeline. There's a concern that without the Public Utility Commission doing their order on it, that we're kind of using faulty numbers to build our next rate case that we're supposed to file. I think that the thought is that we're going to still file that rate case. But in theory, might have to rebuild it if they change our numbers. But the DPS and us agree on a number, so in theory, it should be good. But there is a concern that could potentially be an issue.
Yeah.
2026 rate case. I'm gonna read through this. We're gonna have to come back to rate case in a second at the end of the manager's report. We're still finalizing numbers pending the completion of the audit. The audit is expected to be completed next week. It's in the packet to be approved tonight. It's not. So once the audit's complete, we'll fully be able to finish everything. We have it I'd say 95% complete though. We have some numbers we're going to talk about a little bit later on the rate case. We plan to file on May 21st, which will give us effective date of July 6th, 2026. So that will be the reading date that will begin the new rate. If the Public Utility Commission doesn't issue a ruling before then, we'll make a tough decision. We've already kind of talked about this. I do believe that we're going to file either way on time. It just if there's a change, it's going to make things more complicated. I have already talked to FEPSA about the potential of pushing out our loan 1 month because we're going to start our rate case. Our rate reading will start on July 6th. which means we won't start collecting money until August 16th. I've already talked to them, and I talked to the board of directors of EPSA, as well as the management, and they said that if we need to push it out a month, that's fine. So just as a heads up on that. As I said, we're going to come back to the rate case in a second because I have numbers for you. AMI update, fiber has been installed. The DCUs have been commissioned. We should be placing our first test meter. It was told this week, but it's Tuesday now, and I haven't heard anything. But essentially, we're hoping to put our first test meters in within the next couple of weeks, and then they need 6 weeks to do the testing.
But who's the they?
So the testing is done by Clara and Jackie Limmerhurt, who's a contractor that VEPSA has hired for this installation.
Okay.
So test meters, we're planning on doing these 2 meters on our building. We'll do my house. Bud, your house was volunteered by your son. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah.
So we need 5 to 10, so it shouldn't be a huge issue, but they should be local in case we have to kind of run back and forth. We don't want to go too far all over town, so we'll choose a couple in Jacksonville. I'm sure the town of Whitingham, if we need to, can do it as well.
Keep it fine if you want.
Okay. We do already have the highest opt-out number of any utility in the state. We are at 27 opt-outs already. Ludlow, who has 4,000 customers, had 8 opt-outs.
How many were we at?
27. There is the majority of the board members, honestly, have opted out as well, which is a little disappointing. But it is what it is. But it's kind of made it so that VEPSA and I now need to kind of do a little bit of a marketing plan. I'm thinking about doing some meetings where it's like a question and answer period, where customers can ask their questions and their concerns. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. That's something we might do a Facebook Live or a in office, do one or the other or both, just to try to get some answers out there, because there's a lot of misinformation that we're having a lot of questions from customers about smart meters and what they're being used for and how they're being used, and we don't know the channel your TV is watching from it, which is one of the questions we've gotten. It's just it's something that clearly we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more marketing around it internally, which is fine. It's just a change in how we've had to do it. I will say there's an expectation we're the first. They haven't started any of the Northeast Kingdom yet, and the expectation is the Northeast Kingdom will have some higher numbers as well. So just that's an update on AMI. 2026 tree trimming, a ton of work has been done on Route 100, Gates Pond this past month. Trevor does plan to continue Route 100 this month. And I think he said he's going to end with Parsons Road of the whole list that he has. So that's kind of what I have for an update on that. 2026, the audit for 2026. No major updates. I was hoping to get the audit approved tonight, but the auditors do not have it back to me yet. It's in its final, they do an internal peer review, and it's in that still. So we're expecting it early next week to be completed. Battery storage, no major updates on this. There's been meetings. I had a meeting yesterday on it, but there's nothing really to talk about too much on it. We're working on site planning. The recommendation for a site plan was the municipal center, and I told them I don't think that's a good idea, because I know that the municipal center right now, they're trying to kind of make it look prettier, and these are going to look like container storage boxes, and I just don't think it works. And they also just repave, everything's underground, they repave everything. I don't think it's a good idea. And so the second was at the transfer station. So we're gonna possibly work on that location to see if we can make it work up there, maybe next to the cell phone tower or something. I think it's just a better location, looks wise. And we have 3-phase right there already. So that's just something we're looking at. Potential there. Grid grant. We are waiting. I started working on the RFP because that's what the state wanted me to work on. And then VEPSA reminded me that we have a in-kind match that we have to do. And VEPSA said your time as part of the RFP process, which is the largest amount of time, should count towards that in-kind match. And so VEPSA and I brought that up to the state, and the state is going to the federal government and asking if that can get approved to include that. We're the first ones in this process, and we're kind of on pause until that's approved. But I do have a meeting on that tomorrow to hopefully find out some more information. But just as a heads up, that's on hold for now. I think it's a 2027 project anyway, by the time we award it and can actually start cutting. GMP metering point. So the day after we had our meeting here, GMP told Rod that they're no longer interested in running through our territory. They are keeping our offer as a backup, but that they believe they can go cross country. I think that decision was made before we even sent our proposal. So just as a heads up, no new progress on that. DPS utility review. As far as I know, they're just reviewing all the documents that we sent over at this point. Trouble calls this month. We didn't have any that I'm aware of, which is, I think, a first, actually, for me. Line extensions, we have one that we've kind of waiting on everything from the electrician for Maryfield Road, and then Kentfield Road. The quote was sent. We actually just got notified today that they want to begin work. So this is a new house construction on Kentfield Road. So that'll be a brand new customer, which would be exciting. VEPSA updates. Many of you, I think all of you, are aware of the ACRE program. ACRE program was a low income program that was essentially it's a solar project. We got a grant for a solar array to be built in Orleans, Vermont. It's owned by VEPSA as part of the grant. And what we're doing is that money is then the power that's produced from there is in turn being used to help low income residents on our grid to receive I think it's $25 or $29 credit on their bill. So essentially they're owners of the solar is what it's trying to replicate. And it's a way of using a grant to help low income customers for a 20-year period. So it's kind of a cool program. So that's a program that VEPSA has been working on. It has rolled out last month. I'm not sure if I included it last month.
How do people apply for that?
It's on our website, and it's on our website. It's on, I think Senior Solutions has it. DCF has it. So if you're eligible for any other programs, like food stamps, fuel assistance, that kind of thing, you're eligible. I believe there's 200 slots in the state across all the VEPSA utilities.
And it's not cut into our income.
Nope. So we're going to send, this is who should get it. And so we'll have, like, let's say we have 10 customers who get it. We send a bill to VEPSA, who owns the solar and is getting money from the solar, then will in turn pay us back for those credits.
Or give us a credit.
So essentially it's a net wash for us,
Okay.
but it helps our customers, which is cool.
Yeah.
So following up with that, they also have a stage 2 of that program, which is ESAP battery grant program. Essentially the municipal utilities in the state of Vermont. So this is VEPSA plus Burlington Electric, Vermont Electric Co-op, and Washington Electric Co-op received just shy of $3 million from a state and federal grant for battery storage in individual customers' houses. So there's 2 pieces to this project. Essentially, one of them is the residential storage, which would partner with Green Mountain Solar to come and install one Tesla Powerwall 3 system into lower moderate income households. So the reason I brought up the acre grant for the low income is because essentially the people who are eligible for the acre program are also eligible for this. And the hope is to start with the people who are on the acre program and see if they're interested. This would be very similar to the Green Mountain Power storage system, where we would actually have control over when we discharge that battery. But it would also help customers for power outages and things like that as well. But the idea is that we potentially could have some peak load shaving based on when the batteries are being discharged. So the second part of the program, which is very interesting to all of us, I think, is that we can choose one municipal building to receive 2 Tesla Powerwall systems in our coverage area. Each utility is guaranteed to have one municipal building to receive this. So we've talked about generator and Powerwalls for our building. And I believe every other municipal building in the town of Whitingham has a generator already. So I have already submitted for this building to receive those 2 Powerwalls, which will cover our backup power that we have been talking about for, I don't know, 2 years now. I think we've been talking about it, which is pretty exciting and no cost to us, as long as our building is, as long as there's nothing critical about our building that makes it so we won't be able to get that. We should be fine to receive it. So this is coming up, but they're saying, I think they said by September, they're hoping to have installs completed. So it's going to be soon.
That'll keep our phones up,
That'll keep, yeah, in theory, it'll keep all of our
keep everything.
power. I mean, even we have electric heat. In theory, as long as amperage is okay, we could, in theory, keep heat even. We'll just go through the battery faster. So
Can we use it to supplement our heat?
potentially,
I mean, that would cut down on our
potentially,
monthly bill.
correct. Well, the problem is you're charging off the same battery. So in theory, if you timed it right with the peak load, yes,
Yeah.
when you're you can tell it to charge in the middle of the night. And
Sure.
And I tried it at my house. It doesn't really save anything.
Okay.
It has a potential to
Well,
if you could time it right, but right now it's too early. Transco. As you already know, I think from the last meeting or meeting before, we talked about Velco having equity call coming this year. So the equity call that they're doing is like, I want to say it's like $52 million equity call across the entire state. Jacksonville's share of that is $173,940. This is a loan essentially VEPSA is taking out for all utilities in the state. I believe including Green Mountain Power was the discussion. I'm not sure if Green Mountain Power or not was included in it. But definitely Burlington Electric, Vermont Electric Co-op, and Washington Electric Co-op have all said they need it based on how much their equity call is for. This is in essentially response to National Grid, Eversource, and all the other transmission companies in New England, in order for us to keep up with us, meaning Vermont, to keep up with what the other transmission utilities are doing. We need to invest in Velco as well, and so that Vermont is growing at the same rate as the other states, because if we're not, all our money will go outside the state to pay for. It's just how ISO New England kind of breaks down how they do their distribution of the transmission expenditures. I'm going to pause there for a second. Is there any questions about that first paragraph? Because the second paragraph is going to become much more complicated. All right, we'll go into the second paragraph then. So this past month, we think we found out on maybe 20th of April, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, who's in charge of essentially the Public Utility Commission of the federal government, you think of it that way, issued a ruling against ISO New England and its transmission companies in a case that was filed in 2011. So in 2011, this case was filed. They heard arguments to both sides for 2 years, and then they sat on it and didn't issue any rulings. At the end of April, they decided they were going to issue a ruling, and they issued essentially the worst ruling that possibly could have come out for transmission companies, which essentially says that so FERC usually issues rulings and they say, okay, for the last year and a half, last 18 months, you have to pay whatever the fines were. They're saying you have to pay the fines for the last 2 years and the interest on the overcharge for the last 16 years that this rule has been in effect. So it's a huge blow to transmission companies across all of New England. And the expectation from Velco before the ruling was that there was like a $4 million liability on their books, which for Velco, that's pocket change. They just would spend, pay it off and it wouldn't be an issue. They never thought they'd have to go to investors. When they issue this ruling, yes, they have to go to investors. It's costing tens of millions of dollars to Velco. Now, in Vermont, we're uniquely situated that all the utilities in the state of Vermont are owners of Velco and get equity calls and disbursements from being owners. So we as Jacksonville Electric are part owner of Velco for all its pains and glories. So fortunately and unfortunately, we are receiving a credit from the transmission company, but we're also receiving a equity call now from our transmission company to pay for this fine. So this is now another $57,980 that Jacksonville is seeing. Again, it's proportionate to every other utility in the state of Vermont. I believe they said this is a 15-year, I want to say it was, loan that VEPSA is going to be handling. And so it's I think when I did the calculation, it came out to like $300 a month is what we'd be looking at for a cost on that. But it's so new right now. And like the National Grid and Eversources are being hit really hard by this because they're transmission companies and they're going to have to pay it out. So the expectation is they will be in court for years on this. Velco is kind of letting them do the fighting, and we're kind of Velco is kind of taking a back seat a little bit on this. But I do need to make you aware of it because we are part owners of Velco, and we're going to be on the hook for some of that money. Again, proportional to the rest of the state of Vermont. There's no good answer for this, but you can't not do it. This is essentially what it comes down to. Us not investing in Velco hurts us and no one else. So it's something you need to invest in.
So in the future, sometime.
Yep.
We're gonna have a $300 a month payment.
It'll be looped into our CDA, our power purchase power through VEPSA.
Okay.
Plus this $173 financed over $173,000 financed over some amount of time. I don't know what that number is yet.
Yeah.
But between those two, we'll be paying it at some point.
Yeah. So it's likely to be more in the $600 or $800 range
potentially
monthly.
Correct. But then that's offset by our Velco distribution, which we make about $1,800 quarterly and about $800 monthly off of that.
Okay.
Currently. So I mean, yes, you're seeing it, but because right now we're receiving that and just making it. But if you think in the grand scheme of investments, it's a net wash, probably even a little bit better than a net wash though. It's just unfortunately, and then with this equity call, our amount that we get, our dividends from Velco will actually increase for that $173,000. So as we pay it back, they'll give us more every quarter.
Okay,
I know that's super confusing. It's confusing to all of us who do it every day. So I was trying to keep it high level. If anybody wants to find out more about it, I can invite Ken to discuss it more. But I will leave that up to you. I'm guessing you are
any
not.
projection on when this will start? It's, it's,
That we'll have to start paying it, or when?
yeah, when we'll have to start paying.
I'm gonna guess around next year.
If it's in the courts for years,
So the way FERC rules is, it'll be in the courts for years. FERC is gonna win, first of all. The federal government is going to win against
Yeah.
the transmission
The
company.
the first name there indicates who's gonna win.
But
Federal.
the second part of it is that they will, the expectation is that FERC will issue a ruling that says you have to pay it even while they're in court.
Yeah.
So we'll have to start paying it even if
Yeah.
it's not
That avoids more interest.
right. Yeah. All right. So now going back to rate case. So good news is rate case numbers are in good shape. The bad news is we have to do a rate case. Essentially there's two different thought processes behind the rate case right now. As you know, they're doing the Department of Public Services doing their utility assessments. As part of their assessments, they are recommending that we keep a cash reserve. And so as part of that, keeping the cash reserve, they are allowing us to include a cash reserve, we call it an operating reserve fund that we're allowed to start including in our rate cases. So the problem is that all that is that that's just building cash in our bank account, which we want to do. But at the same time, that obviously somebody needs to pay for cash in our bank account, and that would be customers who pay for that. So there's two different models that were put together for our rate case. The first model is essentially no operating reserve. Don't add anything, just do a regular, how we've done rate cases for the last 4 years. And that is a 15, this is actually changed today. It says 15.29, it's actually 14.70, went down a little bit. So 14.70%. And then with the operating reserve, it's still, I think it's 2270 maybe, but 23.55%. So my initial, so they originally told me the 23.55%. And I said, I'm not going to ask customers for 23.55%. And so then we kind of did some work and got to the 15.29. That's where we're at right now. I want to pause and hear reactions to that before I say too much more. Keep in mind, our most recent rate case was 12.479.
So who's helping you prepare this thing? Pepsi?
It's a combination of VEPSA and a utility finance company that VEPSA hires on our behalf.
Okay. Do you have any indication what other rate cases might be?
They're pretty close. So the other rate cases that have been filed, there's been they've been higher than people were thinking that they were going to be. All the general managers are actually surprised with where they're being. I know that their Swanton went in for 23%. I know that Morrisville, I believe, was 13%. Most of them are in the mid-teen range, mid to low teens range. So we're right in line with what the
Yeah.
other utilities are seeing this year. Although I believe was 18%. The difference is that they haven't had to do a 25% and a 12.479% in the last 2 years as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we kind of have been ahead of everybody with rate cases, we're kind of a year ahead, because of the position we were in, we had to act faster.
Yeah.
And so I anticipate this is more of what we saw last year is what they're doing now. But I don't anticipate theirs are going to be any smaller next year.
So, from a customer's point of view,
Yeah.
how is a Jacksonville Electric customer going to line up against a Green Mountain Power customer down the street?
It depends on how much you use, first of all. If you're
I'm saying
using
they still use,
average customer, it's
Right.
probably going to be pretty close. I'd say an average customer is probably going to be fairly equal to what Green Mountain is charging.
average is what, 500,
600, yeah.
600?
So if you use a lot of power, if you're in the thousands of kilowatts, we're going to be more expensive. If you're using less than that, if you're using in the 200 range, we're going to be way cheaper than Green Mountain. So I don't want to necessarily do it or bring it up, but there is a potential option that we could lower our tier amount. So you can see line 10. We have $239,207. That is essentially our net loss last year, plus the interest charge associated with it. So we did this our first year when we did the 25% rate increase. We decided to waive the tier and say we're not going to take any increase, knowing we're going to go in the following year with another rate case. So if we were to adjust that tier, it would lower this percentage, but it would almost guarantee that next year we have to go in for another rate case, which I'm not convinced we want to do. The one thing I will say is Green Mountain Power files their rate cases on a 7-year cycle, and this year is their 7-year cycle. So Green Mountain Power hasn't increased their rates for this power cost adjustment that we're all doing right now, and they're about to file it. So I think Green Mountain Power's bills are about to go through the roof for the next 7 years. And so right now,
Or even
7.
more
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah, they've gotten they do a increase every year,
Yeah, that's what.
but it's based on a 7-year rate case proposal.
I-
So every 7 years they have to go to the Public Utility Commission and say, this is our plan for the next 7 years. And this year is that year. So I think for us to compare right now, we're comparing apples to oranges because they never planned for what we've all been adjusting for.
Yeah.
So I hate comparing to Green Mountain Power because it's
Well,
it's what everybody's going to do.
it's our nearest competitor.
Exactly.
What I would ideally like to see is that the Jacksonville Electric customers are paying less than the neighbors.
Agreed. The desires.
And as long as we can stay less than the neighbors, I think we're doing our job.
Right.
And keeping this organization solvent.
Right.
And providing the best service we can.
Right.
We can't make a profit anyway.
So what I need from you today is a general consensus of which direction we want to go with this. We will need to do another meeting within the next week with the Jillian Jerzyk, who was presented as our public comment last year. She's from the utility, financial utility assessor. She will be in that meeting, as well as Steve Farnham, where we will actually, we'll have a motion to say we'll approve a rate no more than X. But we don't need that tonight. All I need to know is which direction we want to head, so that I can work with them to get there. Because they need to file their testimony with which one they're going with. And that is what takes a long time.
How are they gonna feel about us putting in a rate case with no operating reserve?
The DPS,
Yeah.
they're not gonna, they'll be okay with that. So it's honestly 50-50 with VEPSA members who are filing this year. There are, I think, 2 who filed with it. No, I'm sorry, there's 1 who's filed with it, there's 1 who's going to be filing with it, and there's already been 3 who have filed without it. So there are more utilities filing without it than with it. The one caveat I would say is they may come in and say you need to add it mid-rate case. So they may say, we may go in and say we only want a 15%, and they may say, too bad, you're going for a 23 because that's what we want for cash reserve.
Yeah, but it's okay if they say it.
Yeah, it's a lot better if they say it than us. And then the other thing is our next rate case, I can almost guarantee they're going to mandate it if everything goes the way that it seems like it's going. But that gives us another year to figure that out. The other problem is we're going to be notifying customers of this about 15 days before our annual meeting. So just a heads up on that. Makes it even better.
Which auditorium are we gonna rent?
So you look at one and it says gross revenue tax.
Yeah. Yes, because it's yes. I know what you're gonna ask.
Lower than the bottom one.
Yep. Because we're making more revenue off the bottom one. We actually make more revenue because of the way that we're billing more for our customers. So that these are essentially the gross revenue, the payroll tax, the fuel tax. Those are proportional to whatever our revenue is. The fuel tax and the revenue tax are the 2 that are proportional. So revenue tax pays for the Department of Public Service and their employees, and the fuel tax pays for Efficiency Vermont to some degree, some portion, or a low income version of Efficiency Vermont. So the more you make, the more you pay.
So those are the only ones that are good.
Tax the rich, right?
Right. Told you guys this was gonna be a fun meeting.
How does it's the adjustment.
Yes, these are adjustments.
No, so. Last number, retail revenues.
Yep.
They both are the same. Do have different numbers except for. How do we have the same number but different numbers?
I'm not convinced. I think that might be an error. That bottom 1365.
Yeah,
I think that's an error.
okay, thank you.
That's what you're.
Yeah, that was
It seems like that should be proportionally higher.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I'll check in with her. These were kind of thrown together. I
just
specifically asked for this view and she had to kind of throw it
put me into
together.
the retreat. Okay, good, thank you.
I also have this view
You
on my
need to
desk
go find
somewhere.
them. Okay.
On my desk somewhere and have this view for all 3 rate cases combined, which might be interesting to you guys. I wanted to see it so I can see what are the steps that got us to where we're raised by however many percent over the last 3 years.
I agree with John, and the only thing that it's just another entity that's out there saying, you know, everything's going up and people's paychecks
It
are,
sucks. I know.
and yeah. But it happens, and I don't know. People make it happen. So it's
I was
We
hoping for
did
12. I was hoping to
we
be
did
in line
12
for what we did
before.
last year was 12.479, so 12 and a half. And I was hoping to be essentially the same or a little less. Is what I was
Well, we
anticipating.
can't compare ourselves to Swanton because Swanton is,
Well, yeah,
they're in a unique situation
very
right now.
unique situation.
So,
But Morrisville being at 13,
and how long have they gone?
they filed last year.
But they weren't like us where
They did not file like a 25%. They did. I want to say they were like 8 or 9% last year. And
no, I mean like going, how many years did we go?
oh no, we all were. Oh yeah,
All of us
all
were
of
in the
us were
same
the
boat
same.
of not
Yeah.
filing for
The problem is
vacation.
we saw the error. You were here before I was. We saw that we needed to file a rate case and we weren't able to, so we got behind.
Mhm.
The other utilities saw that they needed a rate case and did it, and so they've kind of been able to keep that debt down that we took on.
Yeah, we
Unfortunately,
procrastinated our way to death.
we didn't really procrastinate. We just didn't have the financials to do it.
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to.
Well, we didn't have the institutional horsepower
Well, that's true too.
to do a rate case.
Right. What do you think, Laura? Don't like it either way,
I'm
right?
just processing so much information that I see what you're talking about and
I wanted Jillian to come to this meeting. Her nephew had a concert or something that she had to go to. But I was hoping she'd be able to present this a little bit better than I can. But she will be at the next meeting. I'm hoping for next Tuesday. I don't know if that's an issue for anybody, but that's the goal, is for next Tuesday at 6:00 to have a short. It should not be long. And she's
I
going.
think that is old home week meeting
Oh,
at
okay.
5:30.
5:30. So maybe we need to move it to a different day then. Let me know.
Oh, I know it is the 19th.
It is okay.
Wait a minute. Might be the 21st, so I won't.
Okay.
Um,
If we need to do a different night, we can. But
yeah.
we can't go too much later in the week. We have to
No.
go earlier in the week.
I'm unavailable the 20th and 21st.
Okay, so Wednesday and Thursday.
I'm out of,
We have to file on the 21st. So the 21st is off the table. 20th is, it's probably going to be the 18th or 19th. That's where we,
So.
or a weekend.
Or a Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night, the 18th.
Monday night.
I'm just gone for graduation out of town.
So would Monday be okay?
Monday would be okay for me.
I'll check with Jillian tomorrow.
At 6?
All right. Unless you guys can go earlier, because Jillian would love to go earlier, I'm sure. But
Where's she come from?
she's not coming. She'll be on
Oh,
Teams.
let's do that.
But I'm guessing you have work.
Are we changing it to Monday right
I can
now?
adjust
Yeah,
my
if
schedule as
Laura,
long
you
as I
think
know.
that'd be better?
Hmm?
Do you think it'd be better to be on Monday, the 18th?
I can,
Yeah, because I'm not sure if the 19th is the old home week meeting or the 21st.
I can also join by Zoom too.
That's true.
So if you wanted a daytime, that would work.
Either night's good for me. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is day better? I mean, we
No.
could, in theory, do during the day. Tyler wouldn't be able to,
Yeah,
probably.
you wouldn't.
It'd be better at Monday, I think.
So it. be
Let me try the 18th.
Monday. Okay.
I'll try the 18th. If not, if you can also check and just confirm when it is, just so that we know if we have to.
I can also do a 5 o'clock, but I don't know if Tyler can.
I don't, he's pretty tight. That's right here.
So I mean, direction,
Yeah,
if you can get it for 12, I'd love that. That's
even if that ain't, makes it so we have to do a rate case for next year. What do you think?
so. If smaller incremental increases are easier
Can handle
on
it.
the palate.
Yep.
I mean, I would say if you're gonna be forced to do one next year because it's low, if you can do it even lower,
Right, if you're 5% next year, that sounds a
Exactly.
lot better than
yeah.
15 this year. Okay. I'm in line with you because
Okay.
that's where I was too.
Okay.
So I'm completely okay with going back and telling them we need to do that.
All right. John?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Laura?
Think I followed you.
Smaller.
Smaller is
incremental.
better.
Mhm.
If we were gonna be doing a 15 and just to avoid doing one next year, that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people's paychecks in general will go up 3%, 2%.
Yeah.
Whatever
No, it
the,
won't.
or not at all.
I mean, they're not going up 15%. That's
And
for
they're not going
sure.
on 15, so.
Well, I have two thoughts. One, I don't want to be the charity that gives everybody a break.
Mhm.
Okay. Just because all their costs are going up, I don't want us to be the ones that take the hit on it. And number two, as long as we stay lower than our competition, I'm happy. Now, people shouldn't look to us as a charity.
But I don't, yeah, but I don't think right now, if, if we can make it a little bit easier on some
Yeah.
people right now,
Honestly,
I don't think we're being
I was this
charitable.
close yesterday when they presented this to me. I was saying the same thing you were, that I was saying, I think we need to be more like 12.
We're gonna.
And
we're
they
gonna-
said, you can't really do that. I said, I think we might need to be more like 12. So I think you and I are on the same page.
So, yeah, and also I'm concerned too of that lovely number 13 inching back up
13.
Yeah.
is the amount that we are owed. If we increase, no, you're not looking in the right place.
Where am I looking at?
So the number that has now gone down to
13,000 or
13,000.
30-day.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
number.
Yeah. The net receivables.
yes,
Yeah.
not receivable. I couldn't think of a word, but I could think of a number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The more we
I mean,
increase, the higher that becomes.
could be.
Yep.
But we do have other programs that are coming online
That
to
can
help
them. As
help the neediest of our customers.
long as they apply.
Well,
that can be hard to get people to do.
Yeah.
Especially around here.
And that's on them.
Yeah.
That's on them.
I don't know how to do this, but if you guys have any ideas, I think we have, in my opinion, done a really good job of helping our customers with the sense that, I mean, we were told to do a 39% increase.
Oh,
We
yeah.
chose to do a 25% increase. And I don't know how to tell customers that. Like, I don't know how to, I mean, I don't want it to be like pat on the back, but I do think it's important for them to know we're being told to do a 24% increase, and we're fighting for you. We're trying to keep that lower. And if you guys ever have any ideas of how to do that, I think it just, I don't know. I think it's worth calling out that we are here to help customers.
Yeah.
That's why we are here. If we weren't doing that,
Yeah.
we would be Green Mountain Power, and who cares?
Mhm.
Just think that's something to, anybody has any ideas, I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, it sounds like I have a direction.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The next page is just a breakdown of that Transco stuff that we talked about. Jacksonville is on there, all the other utilities except for the co-ops and the Green Mountain Power.
So we're the lowest number on it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely the lowest.
Yeah.
We're the smallest utility in the state, and proportionally, Transco.
Okay, so that's kind of wrapping up your manager's report, correct? All right.
Done.
And so now we're on approve.
We're gonna skip that.
We can't.
Yes, we can't.
And then Hometown Heroes banners.
Hometown Heroes. Greg Brown is working with the town of Whitingham on scheduling the installation of Hometown Heroes in Whitingham. He selected May 1st as the installation date. This is all just a recap of what, but I need a, I just want to make sure everybody's aware because I had asked some board members. He selected May 1st as the installation date. Unfortunately, Briggs Disler did not have any trucks in town to assist with that installation. A select board member had come to me and had asked if they could use our truck if they top off the fuel at the transfer station with the town's fuel after the work was completed. I had received approval to do this from John Doty, Laura Allen, and Tyler Colford, but I wanted to make the board fully aware of that. The first round of installations is complete. If everyone is okay with it, I'd like to offer the same agreement for round 2. I will tell you, I think Greg, I believe Greg paid for the top off of the fuel instead of the town. I don't know for sure, but I figured I'd do that. As long as you guys are okay, I don't think I need a motion. If anybody has any issues with it, let me know. You're good. Ready for Flatland?
Yeah. I just started going down. Thinking of, if there was a way to get contributions, but
Flatland Solar. We had verbal approval at the last meeting. Tyler and I went back and forth about this a little bit as to whether I had approval or not, and I just didn't think I did. We had verbal approval at the last meeting with Flatland Solar Project, which is the solar field in Swanton that we had talked about, that we received 8% of the power produced as a board. However, VEPSA has asked me for a written commitment, they call it power sales agreement that they had sent over. It wasn't clear to me that I had the authority to sign that contract. So I had reached out. So I was originally going to wait until this meeting, and VEPSA reached out to me and said they need it sooner. So I reached out to a few board members, John Doty, Jen Burnell, and Tyler Colford, and received approval to sign the contract. The contract was signed and submitted to VEPSA on Friday, May 8th. But I would ask the board to fully ratify that decision to give me the authority to do that. And I have the motion there to do it if you guys are willing.
I move to authorize James Weber to sign the power sales agreement with VEPSA to commit to participation in the Flatland Solar Project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next 10 pages of the contract, if you have it.
So we go and buy them.
You can go right by them. Unless you want to read it.
Oh, it's interesting reading.
It's a pretty straightforward contract.
Some lawyer makes a lot of money on that one.
VEPSA has one on staff. So it makes it nice.
I had one question with it.
Sure.
Where's the signature page?
I left it off to save a page.
Okay,
but I do have it on mine,
All
on
right.
my computer. Does
I saw this.
it look okay?
That looks
I hope you
great.
guys are,
It was very eye-catching.
so I'm gonna admit,
Coming through.
I used AI to create it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am
Just
not a
good.
graphic designer. But yeah, I thought it, you know, I wanted something that was a little more eye-catching than just written. So we were able to create this, and I thought it looked nice, and I wanted to include it in the packet.
And the state still hasn't washed the roads yet.
They have.
Oh,
They,
so
I
now-
called,
They did.
I
They
called
did?
Russell, and he told me they did it like at the beginning of April, and I said, "Didn't it snow after
They-
that?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay," but he told me they already did it.
just,
Wow.
They were doing something with the drains
Yeah,
last week.
yeah. I think they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do.
No, I'm talking about up and down here.
Oh, they did the bridge cleanings? No, that wasn't last
Maybe
week.
that's what it was.
They were doing a bridge clean, the cleaning, you know, they
Yeah.
clean off the bridges to make sure the salt's not on the metal.
Yeah.
I know they did that. I don't know if it was last week or the week.
It was last week. Yeah.
Because I did ask, I said, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" So that, because we never know. But
May 13th, so that's tomorrow.
tomorrow they're supposed to start. I don't know. The
Really?
weather's a little
oh,
rough, so
If it's a little damp, that keeps the dust.
it's actually good. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better if it's damp, but if
Yeah,
it's pouring
it's
rain,
not
it's
the
not.
hard raining is
Yeah.
heavy
Actually,
Thursday afternoon.
right. Yeah, I think tomorrow might be okay. We did receive a call asking if we were going to be doing the cleanings, so I wanted to make sure we got it out there in public that we were doing it.
so,
You gonna ask about your sidewalk?
no,
Okay, good.
I swept mine and and I was gonna go back and clean it up, but I got them into a little.
Push it right closer.
So Wilmington's,
Road.
town of Wilmington was yelled at by the state because they cleaned their sidewalks off into the street
Yeah.
and they were forced to go and shovel the street,
So that was
the right by the
side.
sidewalks, the sides.
Wow.
So the town was out there,
who does their
like
sidewalk?
literally with brooms and shovels and a little skid bucket.
So Saladino has always said to us that he wants to do the sidewalk project, but he's got a push a broom that goes on the front of a skid steer. And so he wants to push it all under the road and then go clean it up. And I'm like, I don't know if I want you to do that because of the same thing. I mean, the state sees that and then they see one thing, they're gonna come back and say, no, you go
They
clean
did,
it. And
they
I'm like,
yelled at
I don't know. That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll bring
That's
that up.
why Marshall's truck was parked on the side
Yeah.
street.
Yeah, that's it.
Couldn't
Oh,
see
he
him
must
anywhere, but I
have
saw
loved
him.
that. Oh.
I can hear him tell.
They did, the boys did a good job.
Jeez. All right. You ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to fall asleep here.
I know.
Yeah, so we got sidewalks, now we got a red truck.
Red truck. So last meeting we kind of discussed the red truck a little bit. And it got me thinking I probably should just talk to Richard and see what his thoughts are. So Richard and I kind of went through the red truck a little bit. I also took it to Ludlow. I had to pick up something from Ludlow for the locator, which we'll talk about a little later. I figured it was a good trial. Bring it up to Ludlow, see how it does. About an hour and 15-minute drive. So I made it up there. It did stall out once. But realistically, this year was the first year we started having rust come through the wheel wells in the back of the truck, the back bed of the truck. The holes are small enough at this point that we probably can patch them, just put something over them. But obviously it's the beginning of that rust that's probably going to continue to come back. So I think the consensus Richard and I have is that it's a good truck for in town, going to, Wilmington, W&W, that kind of thing, obviously doing our regular meter readings. It's a good truck for that. Probably should not do too many trips to Ludlow with it. But it is something that I think it could if we needed to. So what?
6 years shy of being an antique.
So Richard and I agreed that I wanted it to last until 2029. Essentially that's when we pay off our bucket truck. And I
Mhm.
figured it's a good exchange for, okay, we pay off one loan, whatever we're gonna do, now we have some money to do it. That was the goal, or is the goal. Richard and I kind of agree that we don't really expect it to last more than 2 to 3 more years, just with the rust the way it is. I think mechanically it's going to run just fine. I think it's the rust that's going to be our problem.
So who does inspect it?
Fuller. So we're not going to have any issues with inspection
No.
because they don't look at it.
Do we oil undercoat that thing at all?
No.
Why not?
So it was never done. We never undercoated anything until I started. And by the time we got to undercoating the bucket truck, we looked at that one and said it's already too far gone.
It's not. You can start, if you take it to, don't take it to those places where you.
But we don't take it anywhere. Greg does it because Greg does it himself, and he does our bucket truck, and that's who told me it's not worth it.
We don't need fish oil.
If you bring it up to Clarendon and
Okay.
have it oil undercoated, you will save that truck for a number of years. And I'm constantly, I try to do mine every year.
I do mine every year.
Needs to be
I'm
done every
a firm
year.
believer in them.
But this is a place that I would promote
Okay.
if you're up for it, but
Yeah,
I
but
think
it
you would-
make
I say, where's
difference to
Clarendon?
Brandon.
Oh, you know where Clarendon is.
it's Rutland, basically.
Oh, okay.
Clarendon.
It's just shy of Rutland.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, I know where it is.
Just go
Rotary 100.
155,
Yeah,
103.
they're awesome.
Yeah, they patent their oil.
Oh, they make their own oil.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
And they do still
Interesting.
have
They
a
have-
dusty path for it to adhere.
okay.
yeah,
Leave there.
they've started doing year round though. They weren't doing that before.
I'm a firm believer of it too, but there's nothing here about what the condition is of like the springs and everything, because what do you carry in the back that you're worried about the rust?
I'm not.
No, I don't. Just was
So the
curious.
only thing we put in the back is we put weight in the winter. We put a sandbox, a box of sand. And that's all it gets for weight. The only thing, I mean, maybe a transformer, but usually we just put that on the bucket truck.
Because maybe Nathan might be able to find you, because he has the connection with Town Fair Tire for used summer tires
You've used.
that would go
Mhm.
2 to 3 summers. If.
Yeah, because that's part of what I was having an issue with, was spending
Well-
$600 for a set of tires. That
My thought was if you're going to just keep it another couple of years, run the same tires year round.
that's what Richard and I were thinking too. Is, I mean, those snow tires will probably last 2 to 3 years just if we kept them year round. I mean, we
They're not
put,
studded.
they are studded, so we couldn't take it to Massachusetts or Connecticut. But I
Yes, you
think
can.
that's.
As long as
Yeah.
it's registered in Vermont.
Oh, is that the rule?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that, I mean, we put on, I think Richard calculated it was like 150 miles every time we meter read. So we're not talking, I mean, it's not a huge amount of miles. Usually every year we put about $1,500 into it. Usually, I mean, it's a lot of stop and go. So brakes, brakes are a common
Exhaust.
thing. Exhaust, that kind of
Exhaust,
stuff.
yeah.
Doesn't get a chance to stay hot.
Right. So that's really what you have for issues is really just the stop and go all the time.
I had a little red truck that had only 85,000 miles on it by the time I got through. But I was just driving it to the school and back home.
Right.
I went through 5 exhaust systems.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You never got a chance to heat up.
Right.
So anyway, there's no action item on that, unless you guys specifically wanted me to do something. I know there are some linemen who are itching at the bit to get a different truck.
For this
Um,
replacement.
What do they care?
Well, they really want one that they can use to haul transformers that has like a Tommy gate on it. There's used ones over in that are for sale over in New York.
Yeah.
And they're like 20 grand though. So it's still, I mean, it's
Well,
not
they-
like we have it, you know what I mean? It's complicated.
If they'd like to make a contribution, I'm sure that
Yeah,
you would accept it.
So anyway, I wanted to give an update. I wanted more thorough update than what we had last time. I felt like I owed it to you guys to give a little.
We're not in a position to get a new truck.
Well, that's my opinion too.
Oh, it's on
Well,
the
then-
ad. Okay.
We could just get it oiled.
Yeah.
It could be oiled this spring and
And
it
then
can
do
be
it in the
oiled
fall.
again in the fall and do it.
You do it on the way to Ludlow.
Exactly, right? So what I'll do, we'll see if we can have it oiled and I'll see if we can find used tires. I think that's a good idea. But if not, we'll just run the
change
summer.
Studs
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know, something that doesn't have that
Because you
much.
need pretty aggressive tires in the winter for the
Yeah.
meter read.
Yeah,
The other thing
So
is
there's
it's gonna
no
get a
point.
whole lot less use when we do smart meters.
Yeah.
They're gonna have it's gonna be mostly road use instead of stop and go
then
use.
you don't want your studs.
Right.
Pounded on.
Exactly. It should be good for the exhaust, a little bit better for it, hopefully. All right.
Okay.
You
So
ready?
moving on to
The next fun.
water rate. Yeah, I was gonna ask to have this on the agenda.
Did you know about this?
You sent an
Did I? Okay.
email.
Okay. I wasn't sure who I. So, oh yes, because I asked you what you wanted. Okay, so
And I gave you my,
we received the following email from April Perry.
Is she across the road?
Correct. Yep. On the 16th of April, so just after our board meeting. I'm sorry to have to do this, but with the rising cost of the pump to be replaced and service fees for what I am charged for, I will have to raise the usage fee from $40 to $130 a month beginning May 1st, 2026.
$40 a month.
We pay $40 a month currently.
And now it's going up to 130.
Correct. I have talked, well, I don't know how much we want to say in open session at this point. So let me continue my memo. In my mind, there are three options. We can agree to it and just pay it. I think we could offer to put a second pump within the well. So this is what was actually recommended from Lind Line when they came and looked at remember I got a well quote really like 2 years ago. For out there. And their recommendation was to put a separate electrical service. To put a separate pump in the well and a separate electrical service that would essentially make it so they don't have to do anything. It would involve digging up the yard over there to make the connection into the pipe. And then obviously opening up the well. And
Their lawn.
well, they're gonna have we would
Have you seen someone?
we would have to dig it up and then fix it to do it. I don't know if that's something that April would agree to or not. And then the next thing is we could drill our own well. I think those are the three kind of options that we have.
But the drill, oh, well, is it still gonna be over there?
No, it'd probably be over here.
So he did say you.
So he said, yeah, with permitting. I mean, he said you don't have a choice. So we'd have to go through getting special permitting. It would probably be out this side is
Why
where
can't it be down
he
over here
suggested.
away from the gas?
we talked about it being there. He said he doesn't think the state would go for it because of how close it is to other
Yeah,
buildings.
down
And
too.
yeah. So he said essentially the furthest distance from 112 and the furthest distance from the river. And I said, well, that's kind of an oxymoronic statement, but that's
What about right-
he was saying right between the two bay doors,
Right.
right outside.
right through.
Inside. I know, probably be the best way. Take the roof off. So the one thing I did say is I've asked the gas station if employees can use the toilet in the meantime, if we were to pay them, $40, whatever it is, and they were open to it. So it's just in the meantime, the only thing we use the water for is a toilet and washing hands. So that is a solution probably until
How about
winter.
washing trucks?
We do it. I mean, I don't have to, but I do wash the trucks just to get the salt off, but I don't have to, or I could bring it somewhere else. I can't because I don't have a CDL, but I can have Richard bring it somewhere else and then I can wash it and have Richard bring it back. But I did email April and I asked if we can defer this a month to June 1st. Because I said I don't have a board meeting. So we need to decide today what we want to do with this. what actions you want me to take, and then from there,
How much is the well? Drill?
13 plus whatever the engineering. It was just a drill, it was like 13,000.
13 what?
And then they said you're gonna have to hire like Brad Lackey to come in and engineer it and figure out where it is, and then you're gonna have to apply to the state for variance on the
Have you
river.
Reached out to another company to find out if
I have
there's
not,
another, could you do
like a
that?
Cushing and Son, like a separate well company.
Like Frost?
Sure. Yeah. Just get different quotes is what you're looking at. Yep.
Still got an in with Frost, Kenny?
I,
He's not sure.
Earth to Kent. Frost Drilling Company,
Yep,
are they still a fan of you?
yeah, the boy runs it. I forget what his name is, but it's in the book.
Dan? Is it Dan?
Dan?
Yeah. He's pretty good. Well, he drilled my well, but he gave me a deal.
Did he give us a deal?
$2,500 he did mine for.
Jeez.
When?
What?
1962.
Oh, that was a few years ago.
Well, we can call them and then tell them that we were referred by you.
Kenny, yeah.
When my father died, Jack owed my father 12,000 in sales, and when Brad built his house, I had him come drill a well. That was 3,000. And then when Tracy built hers, I had him come drill another, and that was 3,000.
Hmm.
And then Jack got a new wife. She did the bookwork. She called me, wanted to know which well was gonna pay for the,
North of Lake Manchester.
Yeah.
pay off
He
the
gave
bill
me
they
a
owed.
3,000. If
When
I
they,
wanted
it
to
was
put one in.
12,000.
That's at your house now.
And
At
the
Olive
deal, he
Garden
paid so
building.
much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That
I said,
was-
well, one well paid for the
6 years ago.
bill, another paid the interest. It said right there, they'd pay interest on the money they owed.
Yeah.
So I got the two wells for nothing,
Wow.
yeah. And then I see Jack after that. He was in the hospital one day. I see him, he thanked me for getting it settled. They say he felt good he didn't owe my father no more, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. Yeah, so I mean, realistically, we're too close to the river, we're too close to the road, and we would want it buried because that's obviously a parking lot. So we got 3 variances from the state we'd have to apply for. If we do it out there. The other option that Lind again, or Lind, however you say it, I don't know how you say it, but they did say, you know, obviously could drop another pump and well, that's across the street, but he said the biggest problem you have is that a pipe of unknown age runs across Route 112 and the state is never going to let you dig it up.
Right.
So he said, if anything happens to that pipe, you're drilling a well anyway.
Yeah.
Take that off.
So he said
I've
realistically,
been down that road.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that complicates it, right? And then the other thing,
Put a
Yeah.
water tank in the apartment.
well, that was Bud's suggestion, was put a water tank and fill the tank every once in a while. And I don't know how that would work. I don't know if we're allowed to or
Houses typically had cisterns.
Yeah.
right. But the
Up in
problem
the
is
attic.
we're a business. Is the
Still
problem.
have one.
Me too. I haven't taken it out yet. You know what I mean? That's the problem, is we don't know, because we're a business, we're more complicated. So that's the other thing that
Yeah, who regulating that? That you would need to get.
I'm not gonna ask anybody.
Stock tank is about $120.
Yeah.
Somebody would have to install it though. That's the problem. And
I can still carry one upstairs.
there's this door big enough to get it through there. You do 55 gallon drums.
Oh, could probably
I-
install it for you.
That's a good
You
idea.
get the fire department to come down and give you a shot of water
Well,
for your pool.
you wanna know where the water's
Your
coming
hot
from.
tub. Wow, so you said something before about June first?
So June 1st is, so essentially we have a $40, right now on our payables, we have $40 for this month.
Yeah.
That is the last $40 one we will pay. I don't know, again, executive session, but I did reach out to Bob Fisher on this. If you want more information on that, I'm willing to share it, but there was nothing good for us in that conversation. Water rights are very complicated.
Yeah.
It is, our deed and their deed both references a spring on their property that we do have legal rights to. The question Bob had was whether or not that spring is also the well. And he said typically it's not. They're not considered the same. It would have to be updated to say well.
Yeah, spring's probably up the hill a little
Right.
bit.
So we're getting a deal right now.
So you guys can go to the
Yeah, for now,
garage,
just let them shut off the water and we'll go over there. I talked to Amanda and made sure she was
okay with it?
okay with it. The question would be, what do we want to offer to the garage to pay? If we're doing that, I assume we should give them some compensation for it.
$40 a month.
That's kind of, I was thinking if we're not, I mean, we're doing the same thing, give them $40 a month to do it.
You can also flush a toilet with a gallon
Well,
jug.
that might be. Amanda and I was saying, I'll just run home. I mean, honestly. But technically, just so there's something on the books, I think we should probably have an arrangement.
I don't like being blackmailed.
Hmm.
Me neither.
Well, you could pay that, do the 40 for this other time and wait to see what you've gotten for at least 2 quotes.
This
And
is
paying
just
130 for 1 month at a time.
right. Yeah, so they have a pump. The pump is in their basement apparently, and every time it's failed, they've apparently fixed it. I've had it happen once since I've been here, where we had no water, and I had to reach out to them. They had it fixed within a day, but this happens quite often according to them. I don't.
What kind of pump do they have? Just a regular shallow
Yeah,
well pump?
I think it's a shallow well. They have 2 of them. They claim is they have 2 of them in their basement. They have one that goes to ours and then one that's theirs for their house. And the main well pump comes in, then goes to these 2 separate pumps to distribute.
And they're all shallow well, not deep well?
The one in the big one in the well, I would assume is a deep well. I mean, it's a normal.
So what does it pump to?
The one in the well, I don't know. I'm confused as to why there needs to be a second set of pumps, unless it's because of how long at a distance, but it's not that long.
No.
I mean, pumps usually aren't an issue, but
So every time the water is drawn from the sink or flushed,
pumps.
there's a pump that calls for it and it comes here onto the road.
Correct.
No other tank.
No pressure tank, no. So that's what we'd have, if we did a well, you'd have to do a pressure tank, you'd have to do the well, you'd have to, the whole thing. And then if it's over there, you gotta figure out, that was one thing Lynn was saying, is you gotta figure out how to get it from over there to over here, because we don't heat in between. We don't heat that center room. So you can't just come in the garage and then have water. You'd have to figure out how to get it over here for water, or heat the center, but we don't think we wanna do that.
Reverse the ends.
Put the office over
Put the
there.
office over there.
Is there any water available south of us? No, on this side, no.
No.
So the 2 buildings there, neither one of them have water.
Correct. So the gas station has a spring. That spring freezes in the winter. So they have expressed that if it's possible for us to share a well, they might be interested in maybe, I don't know, splitting or some portion of it.
That puts a lot of spin on it.
It may, depending on what the price is and where they are cash wise, they might be interested in putting, essentially we put our own well pump in, they put their own well pump in, and we just share the well itself. Again, I don't know what that looks like from a state, if the state allows businesses to do that or not, I don't know. But we have a good case for it because they don't want to give variance for two separate wells. They're more likely to give a variance for both of us. To
And
use
it's
a
not a
shared
household, there's no showers and anything.
Yeah,
It's
with
just.
low usage, very low usage.
I would tap into any economic development
I know.
specialist to advocate for, you don't want to lose businesses. And
Maybe I'll reach out to them. They have ideas.
All first stamp and you tell them you have
it's
a
very,
utility challenge for them.
But in the meantime, I think what I'm hearing is talk to Jess and Jeremy, see if we can get it set up over there, and in the meantime, get some quotes, figure out what our options are, and come back to the next meeting with that.
And I would say, keep this arrangement as long as we have to. If we have to pay $130 a month for 3 or 4 months, I'm okay with that while I have another solution. But, $130 a month for 3 or 4 months is not going to break us.
Right.
So
So
I
opposed to
would-
the gas station,
As opposed to disconnecting
Yeah.
anything.
so instead of the gas station, just keep this going.
Well,
because they were, yeah.
if we wanted to get a well drilled, we could probably get that done in a couple of
Yeah, I
months.
don't think it'd be long.
I don't know how long the
What would
permits take.
So she mentioned cost to replace pump. Is that in the sentence here?
Yes, it is.
So what does it cost to replace a pump?
I think they told me last time it was $190.
So
And I can't remember if I had offered for us to pay for our pump, but I said I want my own plumber to go in there, or if I just dreamed that I was saying that because I felt
Right.
like I should have said it.
right.
But it was kind of one of those situations they said they're just doing it.
Right.
Like they want people in their basement.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And I was honestly kind of uncomfortable with the fact that a non-licensed plumber is doing it. Who knows? That's actually when we got the water cooler. It was right after that because I don't know anything about what this water is doing. So drinking wise, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So that's why we got the water cooler. But I mean, for flushing toilets and things, I don't really.
Do you think they have the same arrangement with the people that lived there before and before that? Like.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
been
like-
how long has it been? $40. You remember?
For a while.
But you have to remember, Laura, the whole thing started because the guy who lived there owned this business
Oh,
when it was a business. And so he set it up and it was
Yeah.
dirt road at the time. He just dug the pump and did it and who cares? But now it's two separate properties. It's become more complicated.
Yeah.
And that was 2 owners ago, I believe, right? 2 or 3.
Yeah. When Curry moved there, I think Pam asked them and they said leave it just the way it was.
Yeah.
But the Van Whites lived there earlier.
Right.
When they
Neil
bought
and
it from
Diane.
Van White.
Neil and Ingrid first.
Then number 2 came in.
Any reason to go into executive session?
Well, at this point, I pretty much told you everything.
Okay.
No. So I've heard 2 different things, so I want to make sure I understand what you guys want me to do. Do you want me to keep paying that 130 until we figure out something, or do you want to talk to the gas station about using theirs and just let the disconnect happen?
I guess it's up to you guys, like what your comfort zone is, and the amount of use here, and if everybody would prefer to not have their lives disrupted with having to go out there, rain or whatever the weather conditions are. But if you're
I think,
troopers and
I
want to go ahead and
think the consensus in the office is that we don't like being blackmailed and that we're willing to do anything to not be blackmailed. So just say, you know what, shut it off then. I think that's the feeling in the office.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. So
you got one payment of 40 left.
which is on this warrant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you do that, then it's over. Then for us to go back is much more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can't, probably the 130 is off the table at that point. So that's the challenge you have. Then we have to invest in a well or some other alternative. Right?
Yeah.
So you might be better off just keeping it until we have the quotes and get things.
And pay the 130 1 month at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if you're okay with it, I'll say that to to April is, we're willing to pay the 130, but we're going to look at other options.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just that way it's abundantly clear what we're doing.
Maybe we should be in executive session, but you could also offer and say it doesn't sound like it deserves this.
Yep.
Right.
I'll see what we
Willing
can.
to do 115.
Yes.
100.
There are a lot of room for negotiation here.
A lot of room.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could buy
Where did 130
pump
come from?
and have our plumber install it.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
We would have to have electricity installed too, which conveniently we know how to do that too.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing is, it is their electric that's running the pump, not ours.
Well, $40 is a lot of money for the amount of water you're using.
Right.
Mhm.
If you were in Arizona, I
Right.
might understand $40 so much, but not here.
All right, so maybe I'll do a little negotiation and then we'll do some digging on other potential options.
Will you have time to do some of that so we can also talk about it Monday night?
Sure. I don't know if I'll get another quote by then.
No, but I mean a little
But I
more
can- with the
communication.
negotiation
How
part,
you read her.
I can read her pretty well.
Okay,
She won't want
I
to.
mean, this is a big deal.
It's a big deal. I think I did a calculation. I think I said that the payback period on a well would be within 20 years. At $130 a month.
Yeah.
So within 20 years, we'd have the well paid off with paying the.
It's time to put a new pump in.
Unless you have to put a new pump in.
And then it would take, what did you say it was gonna take? 20?
It was
would take
just shy. I think it
60
was just
40.
shy of $20.
60 years.
Right.
40.
Right. Probably would have had our well paid for by now. Anyway, all right.
So moving on to
Talk about spending more money.
Peter locating service.
All right. So this month, we received 16 dig safe requests from Fidium and one private party company. So just dig safe, essentially what happens is somebody puts a ticket in that they need to dig. The utilities that are part of dig safe are required to go mark anything they own.
I was just reading ahead.
So we have 5 primary undergrounds of the 16 that we own. Essentially, we own primary underground. After the transformer, it becomes the customer's responsibility. So we don't own all 16 of them, but we own 5 of them, which we are legally required to be able to locate, and we take on the liability associated with that digging. So if we mark it wrong and they dig, we're responsible for any harm that's caused as well as any damages that need to be repaired. So obviously this was a big surprise when this is Fidium that put in these requests. And they told us we have 2 days to locate all of them, which I responded and said, that's not possible. We can't.
Is that because Fidium has customers saying, I want this hooked up?
Yep.
And they're pressuring that to get that done?
Yeah. So what happened was Fidium essentially came in and did all the overhead for their fiber, and now they're saying they want to get rid of all the copper. but there's copper that's buried. Like my father-in-law is a good example of how my father-in-law's house, where the copper goes underground, and the conduit has collapsed or something happened to the conduit where they can't pull it through. And so there's 16 within Jacksonville's territory that happened to. And so they want to dig to replace it.
And do they have to fix the grass and all that after they dig that
I'm
up?
gonna find out because they tore mine up pretty good today when they did it. So we'll see. They also took out my father-in-law's blueberry bushes when they did it. It's video. Not sure why they didn't just go on the road the whole way, but they decided to go through the blueberry patch.
Well, I can't wait for
So-
everybody to see the Fidium
Bills.
bills go up after their big promotion.
So, long story short, we had to do this locating for at least 5 of these locations. We did not have a way to do it. I reached out to a locator company. It was $1,200 per location to come and do it. So quick math, we're $25,000 if we did all 16, which was not gonna happen. Anyway, long story short, I reached out to Ludlow and asked if they have a locator that we can borrow. They let us use their backup locator. They have one, and then there's a backup. So that's why I took the red truck up to Ludlow to grab that. And they said that it's available now, but they said it's lucky that it's available now because
Don't
they
count on
usually are using it. So they said, do not count on it going forward. It just happened to be that they weren't using both their
Well, it was the
locators.
same then.
Yeah. So, so Eastcom is who they bought their locator through. So I reached out to them and asked, if they would come show us what they have. They came today, actually. They said it's around $4,200 for a locator. There are cheaper ones that do not work very well. There are lots of different options out there. We actually tried. Bo Crawford had a couple that we tried, and they do not work. Even the one from Ludlow wasn't great. When he came today, we went up to one of our places we located, and we were about 10 feet off on some of our locations. I don't know. So liability wise, I mean, again, we only have primary underground. It's not very common that we get a primary underground locator request, but it does happen. And when it does happen, you have very little turnaround time to do it. Secondary, we get all the time. I mean, I get secondary requests 5 times a year, probably. But again, that's not our legal responsibility. Typically what happens is Randy goes out, he's a water witch, and he goes out and locates it. But we had an issue last year where he did that, and he found a barbed wire fence, and that's what he was locating. And so then when they went to dig, they actually dug up the secondary conduit within the first bucket. And so, I mean, then it's kind of, is it our liability? Not really, but we kind of told them where to dig, kind of. So it's tough. So I don't know. My recommendation, we do need a locator. I don't know. And I did ask the VEPSA members at the board meeting at lunchtime, and every single one of the other utilities have one. It seems like something we need. I hate saying it because it's expensive. It's not cheap, but I do think we need it.
Hugely expensive.
No, I feel like it's something we need to really strongly consider getting for the 4,200 that it costs.
You turned the volume up and then you turned it down on me with the 1,200 per location times. So you turn the volume of the dial up.
Yeah, that one
Then
gets a
you
little
went-
scary,
You
doesn't
went,
it?
it's only 4,200, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, I thought they were going to say it's like $400 a location, and when they told me 1,200, I went, well, no, we can't do that. So then the other thing is we were talking about the option. I was talking to the guy today, and he said, well, a lot of utilities, you don't own the secondary, but you can bill customers for it. I mean, it's going to cost them $1,200. So if you charge them $100 to go out and locate the secondary, that's helping the customer. It's helping you, and you pay for your tool. And I was like, oh, that's not a bad idea. You know, we can offer that service for the secondary location.
To me, it's like buying a transformer that you need to.
It's about the right cost too.
Yeah.
So you guys are okay with me
Yeah.
pursuing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I did look at used ones too. The used ones, they're really not any cheaper. And this comes with I think he said it was a 3-year warranty on the receiver and a 8-year warranty on the wand. It was pretty good warranty. I was surprised.
Make sure it's a quality
It is. Yeah.
piece of equipment.
Yeah. The next cheapest was 8,000. So I think the 4,200 is keep it in that range.
We are now on an annual meeting.
Annual meeting. Fun stuff. You want me to wait for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the annual meeting, as you know, we have annual meetings, the next meeting we have, so
It's
June
in June.
8th, I think it is, 9th, something like that. Should we take a little break? That sounds fantastic, to be honest. This,
Interesting.
you out of here?
It ain't changed.
No. I say, it doesn't feel any different, does it, Bud?
Oh, it ain't changed a bit.
You feel a little lighter as you walk out?
Yeah.
Especially because you can leave that here.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Good night, thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. As you guys know from the last couple of years, we have our annual report. This is just a sample of it. Some of it's been updated, some of it hasn't. Has our warning. Maybe.
He's got it.
No, yeah.
Yes, June 9th, sorry. Has our warning, has the minutes from last meeting, the last annual meeting, has the current officers and who we're electing. Is he out?
Sorry.
No.
He just had trouble reaching back.
Closing door.
The door, one back inside.
You don't want to take away
I know.
independence, but then you also don't want to be rude, so.
Hey, he was out mowing his lawn the other day.
You see the
Made me
road,
feel bad.
you see the rototiller he's trying to get started?
That little one?
I think it's from the 1920s. I honestly think
It's
from
an
the
old-
Front tines.
1920s. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's big. It's a big machine. I'm
Yeah, it's
surprised.
about that
I mean,
wide.
those are deep tines on it. But anyway, within the annual report, as I've said before, we have a manager's report, which I have a copy of right here if anybody wants to read it. I'd like to include this manager's report in the upcoming bills that we send out to all customers. Because it gives a nice overview of where we're at. And Whitingham customers don't get a lot of what we're doing and why we function, because they're not residents of Jacksonville. So I'd like to include that if you're okay with it in all bills. And then we're early enough this year that I can actually mail these. And I'd like to put them together and mail them. It is one stamp to mail this. I had it checked today by Tyson, to all Jacksonville customers. So people within the village will get this. It's about 100 people. Once you take off the commercials and things like that. So if you guys are okay with that, I'd like to do that. And it'll be nice to actually finally send them out again. I think they used to be sent out.
Oh, yeah,
Is
they
my
did.
understanding.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
and we're early enough with our audit that I think we'll be able to do that in time. So if you're okay with that, I'd like to do that. I'd like to do the open house like we did last year. I plan to make some sort of food this year, probably pasta, as opposed to we don't have anywhere to buy it from anyway. So if anybody wants to help with that, I'm willing to accept some help. I'll probably buy, cookies from BJ's or something, just cheap like that, unless Laura, you are itching to make some cookies or something. But
Bars or brownies or whatever.
yeah,
I can make cookies.
yeah, that'd be great. I mean, if you guys are willing to, I'm thinking we can just make a big seedy kind of thing and salad and
Yeah.
keep it easy.
Yep, that's what it basically was last time.
Right.
was
And we can make it, I can make it myself for sure.
Lyman will be first in line.
So, so they don't usually come to the meeting. So this is I'm trying to think of how we do this.
Open house and meeting.
So we have an open house. So the open house is in the afternoon. So essentially we usually close a little bit early.
Oh,
I can
that's
run
right, 'cause
home.
it starts at 5.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
usually do an open house for about an hour beforehand, and then I'll show open the doors so people can come and see what we are, who we are, and then we'll start the meeting. We do have. I'd like to recognize employees / board members for significant anniversaries. Richard last May actually had a 10-year anniversary here. I think
Did he
you
get
had a
recognized
10-year
then?
anniversary last year.
Really?
So he did not get recognized at the last annual meeting. I think it'd be nice to do it, as well as after our last meeting, we talked about Bud's award. That's the
Yeah.
plaque for Bud. So I'm just thinking like little certificates I'll print off. For
We're
the
gonna make sure that
anniversary.
Ron and Randy are here.
I've already told Rod they need to be here. So it's beeping at me. So I don't know if we want to do the employee recognition as part of the annual meeting, or if, I've been thinking about doing some sort of cookout for the guys. I don't know if we want to make it the same day, separate days, part of the annual meeting. I don't know. Because I don't know if they'll come to our annual meeting if I invite them, but I figured I'd ask you what your thoughts are. But I do want to do some sort of a team building at some point with the trustees and the linemen and the employees. I think it'd be a good bonding. You guys deal with me all the time, but you rarely have everybody.
Yeah.
And we need to also get a full group picture for.
So you can roll your grill down here.
I can roll my girl. I have 2 girls. Which one do you want? But yeah, no, that's absolutely fine.
Just need to know if you want to, I think it would be a lot.
I think it'd be a lot to do all in one
So if we
day
did recognition of
as part of
that
that.
as separately with a cookout would be.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, I like that idea. So maybe we'll
be a
plan
little more
that.
Personal.
Yeah.
And not have to get down to business after you
I love that.
eat.
Yeah.
You
So maybe we'll do an afternoon sometime that we can do a cookout and you guys can come down and we'll have kind of everybody there.
I'll make sure he's.
Yeah, make sure you made it.
Probably the water pipes banging.
Could be. They just shut off our water is what just happened.
Driving
I
away.
never caught a glimpse because of the paper right there on that window pane above the slot. But yes, there is an envelope in there now.
Okay, somebody did that. That's all I have for the annual meeting, except for I will need a vote on the article or the the warning that I have you authorizing to put out. So if you guys vote to authorize this, I will hang this in 3 different locations around town.
That's not in our packet.
It is in your packet.
Yeah.
This?
So
Okay, I got
there's no page number, so
I know.
right,
Yeah.
right after the,
Everything's correct. We have,
I hope
it's
so.
going to be the 9th.
Yep.
And it's going to be at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And it's going to be on June 2026. Article,
it's right after this. Yep.
The 103rd annual meeting,
So do you have the date right?
the 9th of June.
Yeah, but it's not 2025.
Oh, good catch. Good catch.
Where does it say?
The very top.
Here.
The very top.
It's 2020.
There, I was-
And there had to be
Yeah.
some sort of
Yeah.
mistake. I knew there had to be.
so I'm trying to check down here and didn't even see that.
I spelled your name right, John, right?
Yeah.
You've got a similar error on the current officers page. I'll wait till we get to that.
Okay.
You're speed reading, John.
No,
They say you probably already looked through it.
Jimmy gives you this stuff to proofread.
I'm a terrible writer and a terrible proofreader. I'm a numbers person. I'm a
Yeah.
That's why I don't criticize anybody who spells my name wrong.
He's a numbers person, but not necessarily a dates person.
That's right.
This looks like ready to sign.
Well, just need a motion to
Make a
warn the
motion
meeting.
that we accept the warning with the correction for June 9th, 2026.
I'll second
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
it.
Is there another big page after that?
So the next thing in the packet is my letter. I will, how about by noon tomorrow, if there's any edits, changes, concerns, to tell me. I need it to be added to the billing for this month.
This
which
is what's going in that.
This is what's
In the mail.
this is what's gonna go in the bill inserts
Yeah.
for this month, and it's also gonna go in here. And it's just essentially an overview of where we're at.
I thought it was good, Jim.
So you're gonna change the date from May 5th to,
Nope, I'm gonna keep the date because that's the date I wrote it, and if anything changes between now and then, I don't want people to say, wow, well, that's not what it is, because we're about to do a rate case, and I don't want it to,
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that to actually be when it's written. Yep. The next thing is the minutes, which luckily were already written. So this is the minutes from last annual meeting. I believe we've already actually approved them as a board, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they should be good to go. They'll be inserted into this as well. And current officers, you see, I'm gonna change.
It's
Yeah,
just
because
the
that should be 25 to
25, 26, right?
Yeah.
on the first line.
Well, the second line, but yeah. And then Laura, you know, you're up for election as well as Tyler this year. And then once you get elected this year, you'll be appointed, if in theory you're elected, you'll be appointed till 2028 to fill the rest of Bud's term. Does that make sense to you? Okay. I assume you're planning to run,
I'm not assuming nothing.
because I need to find somebody else to run.
Well, I guess.
You don't need to
I
answer.
can tell you that afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. And then just we have the trustee 5-year, trustee 2-year, clerk, treasurer, president of the board of trustees. And if you're interested in any of those positions, I highly recommend you talk to someone beforehand to see if you can get a nomination for any of those positions. And then the last thing, I need you to go into executive session.
Okay, that's what I thought I was reading.
It won't take long, but you need to be aware of it.
And then this Delta Dental stuff and
Dental, that's just for your awareness. The renewal, the rates are gonna go up by what? $3, $2, $3 a month. Just more for your awareness. I don't think there's an issue there, but let me know if there is.
So it said, once it is agreed upon.
Correct. So you have to agree that premature public knowledge of this would be a concern. So
Then I move to enter into executive session in accordance with 1 VSA 313(1)(e) to discuss.
2 separate motions. You need to agree as a board. So there's a litigation matter that we're being threatened with by a customer. And I think that we should discuss it. So now you would make a motion that that premature public knowledge of this litigation matter, not of a contract, would place the public body at substantial disadvantage. Once you vote on that, then we can go and do the actual motion to go in executive session. Does that make sense? Two separate motions. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see there was one there. Okay,
So one you're gonna enter at 8:19.
so, so executive session for a potential litigation issue. I move that premature public knowledge on
This litigation matter,
contract,
litigation matter.
on this litigation matter would clearly place the public body at a substantial disadvantage.
So you need a second on that.
Second,
And a full vote.
Everyone in favor?
aye.
Aye.
8:20.
And then you're gonna make another motion.
Uh,
Do your
okay.
notes, do your notes.
You're right, I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I move to enter executive session in accordance with one VSA subsection 313, 1E, to discuss probable civil litigation matter to include James Weber, General Manager.
Yeah,
I'll second.
And all in favor.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Right, 8:20.
Motion and we come out of executive session, or do I do that?
Sure. No, you're good. You can
Out
go
of
ahead.
Executive session at
8:59.
8:59.
Second that,
Yep.
all in agreement.
Near my bedtime, 9 o'clock,
I know I
I move
have.
we adjourn.
I go to bed.
Kenny's
at 9,
bedtime.
Or go to sleep.
We're,
I
we're adjourning
second.
now.
Well, the dog wants to go
All
to
in
bed.
favor?
at 9,
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
9 o'clock.
10.